Hello, in today's video we're tackling one of Star Citizen's most unique and lucrative missions, the Vanduul Tech Smugglers. I'll show you exactly how to run it solo, from getting inside the station safely, avoiding the Vanduul, clearing the Shattered Blade, and how to maximise your profits. So if that sounds good, sit back, relax while I roll the intro. So the Vanduul Tech Smugglers mission is easily one of the most lucrative solo missions that you can do in the current patch. I'm going to take you through a guide of how to approach the mission, how to get yourself set up as a solo player so that you can complete it reliably. I'm going to take you through some top tips and tricks that I've found experimenting with this by myself over the course of the last few weeks, including how to completely avoid hassle from the Vanduul that spawn in along the course of the mission, and also a really reliable strategy for getting out and getting your loot home at the end of the mission. At the end of the video there will be some bonus tips and some pointers to some more detailed walkthrough type guides. The first thing we need to do is set our spawn point in Nix, so if things go wrong we can get back into the action quickly. I like to set my spawn here at Stanton Gateway. It's not as laggy as Levski and it allows you to get back to the QV station much faster. Once you're ready to approach the station, you've got two choices. You can go in hot or you can go in stealthy. In this first attempt here, I've taken my F8C Lightning that I got from the executive hangars and I'm shooting my way in. You can do this in a Corsair, a Redeemer, a Constellation Taurus would probably work as well. But there are 4 Vanduul at least that spawn as you approach the station, so you need to be prepared for a fight. This is very doable in a starter ship. This is Crusader Intrepid. This is the stealthy approach. In this we're not looking to get into any combat, we just want to approach the station fast and find a path through the Vanduul to get to a hangar or a landing pad. So we're going to cruise in, pick up some speed, and we're heading for either landing pad 3, which is directly underneath the central column of the space station, or we're looking to get a hangar assigned and get into our hangar before the Vanduul have a chance to blow us up. Now the first tip of the video is that the Vanduul really aren't very good at navigating around the station. So if you can head in to this central pillar that's underneath the main station, fire off some flares and try not to get blown up by the first volley of missiles, you can tuck your ship up underneath the station. And although I'm taking some damage and I have just lost an engine, I can get myself up under the station gantry there, and if the Vanduul don't crash they at least can't get at you and don't blow you up. So this gives you a chance to take a moment, let your shields recharge, finish off any stragglers. As you can see, they really don't do too well around the station. That guy crashed again. And then when you've got maybe 1 or 2 left, or you've cleared them all out, it's time to make a run for the hangar. So get your hangar permission and just head over there as quickly as you can. Get yourself safely into your hangar. This is quite a lot more difficult to do with 1 engine, but I think most of the Vanduul are gone, and so I get away with it and get in safely to the station. Nice and gentle on the thrusters when you've only got 1 engine, and it'll all be alright. So now that we're safely touched down in the station, the first thing that we want to do is make sure that we've got a respawn point on site, so if we do die as a solo we don't have to go all the way back to the station. And for this I like to use my RSI Ursa Medevac. You can call ships to your hangar here, you have a persistent hangar at site, so call up a Cutlass Red, an Ursa Medevac, whatever ship you've got that's got a medical bed in it. Make sure there's some med gel on board, and then just park it off the hangar in case you need a different ship. Set your respawn, and this way if we die, just come back on the station and try again. Obviously if you die more than twice you'll run out of med gel, but again you can just self-destruct the ship and do some insurance fraud and get another one. In terms of loadout, I'm running heavy head armour, heavy chest armour, medium arms and legs. You need a good gun. I choose the pulverizer with some ammo. Pulverizer is great because there's ammo in the station. You need a med gun, 2 multi-tools, 1 tractor, 1 repair tool and a fuse. And as usual, a couple of bottles of cruise. Now it's time to go start shooting stuff. So we head up from our hangar to the main entrance. I'd like to know in the comments, guys, in this video, instead of speeding things up as I've done in my previous videos, I've kept everything at normal speed. I'm going to make sure they're a really good timestamp, so if you don't want to watch a section you can skip forward. But this is the first main fight. As soon as we enter this very ghost arena looking section, there's an ambush set for us and we're going to have a fight on our hands. Now if you're on your own, you don't have any backup, you've really got to try and control the fight as much as you can. Take the enemies one at a time. This little nook at the top of the stairs on the right is great, you can get some cover here, clear the ground floor. If things get really spicy you can bug out, jump over the wall behind me and get away. So we're just looking to peek the angles, kill as many guys as we can, get the room clear. The enemies in this facility have pulverizers, kill shots, AO3 sniper rifles. They do tons of damage, so you don't want to get hit too many times. After you do get hit, make sure to heal. You don't want to be running around with less than half health if you can help it. We're just looking to pick up on as many angles as we can, drop them 1-2 at a time. Pulverizer is just an absolute beast of a gun, it takes these guys down so quickly. But of course there are guys running around in here with the pulverizer, so you need to be careful. There's usually a few guys up on that balcony there. You fire nice and slow with the pulverizer, it basically becomes a DMR. As soon as you start burst firing it's not very accurate, but single shot tapping is very good. There's always a couple of guys at the top of these stairs. If you take it slow you can normally get a peek on them. And we're headed down here to try and shut off that alarm. There's always 3 or 4 guys at the end of this corridor. And watch out for snipers on the balcony to your right. Took a few too many hits there, so I'm just backing off to heal. And I'm a loot goblin, so I can't help opening every box. I know where he is, I can just take my peeks. It's not going to do too much damage with a shotgun from over there. They're very aggressive, these guys. They will push you, so you've got to keep your head on a swivel. This route that I'm taking gives you lots of nice peeks back at where they all hide, so it's a good way to just dip into these rooms and get yourself some cover so you can take the guys out one at a time. So top of the stairs, turn right, follow the balcony round, and this is where you come to switch the alarm off. There's always two guys in here, so watch out. Just one this time. Right, so it gives our ears a break and we can move on to the next phase of this first area. That's unlocked the security room downstairs, so a load of new enemies will spawn. There's normally a few of them rushing you, so coming in to flank you at this stage, so beware of that. But we're just going to work our way back out again, still peeking the corners, taking it steady. And we're just going to work our way back around the balcony, clearing as we go. Clear the first floor out and then head back down and start working on the security room. There's plenty of enemies in here that run with the pulverizer, so you can be pretty liberal with your 7.62mm investigation probes. It's worth looting the blue boxes in here because there's a chance for medals and pristine artifacts to spawn here. Seems to have a very good drop rate. So I did notice that open door on the right there, and that nearly cost me on this run. Because I was shooting, I didn't realise there was a guy behind me. It took me another second or two to realise. That shot could have taken me down if I was not lucky. But again, with a respawn, we'll be okay. You can clear most of the security room from up high here, you can get through the bars there. There's usually a few guys down to the left here. It's about 6 that spawn in the security room. that health topped up. There's usually someone behind that crate there, there it is. A bit lucky there with the AI being a bit laggy. This is the first milestone in the mission. Each of these guys with skull helmets have got data on them. And they'll also have a decryption key which you need to take with you. This security office is the first location where you can find a warehouse access card. That one here this time, they don't seem to be spawning. So you need to rinse and repeat this strategy in cargo decks A and B. There's another skull helmet guy in each of those who you need to kill and loot. It's much of the same, so I'm not going to feature this in this video. We're on to the next stage. Once you've cleared the 2 cargo decks, this is how we avoid the Vanduul. Get yourself a Nox, a Dragonfly, a Pulse, call it up in the hangar, and head on over. The great thing about these space bikes is they just don't aggro the AI ships, so the Vanduul will stay still in space and completely ignore you. The next 2 phases are firstly the Polaris and then the auxiliary station. So we'll go to the Polaris first. This is a very intense close quarters battle. There's a lot of guys crammed into this absolutely destroyed Polaris. The entrance to the ship is here on the far side of the docking port. And then it's the same deal really, we're going to head in, keep the angles tight, and clear our way through the Polaris. Again, I'll put a timestamp at the end of the fight here so you can jump to the looting at the end. There's a set of medical beds on the right here, just after we've entered, in case you need it. This section at the right of the tail of the ship here has some nice size 1 loot. Just on the corridor to the right, but there's a broken gravity generator which will damage you if you get too close, so be careful of that. There's only really one path through the Polaris, a lot of the doors are locked and sealed. Again, just checking all the boxes in case there's any nice loot. This main cargo room is where the majority of the baddies are. And there's our skull helmet guy. He's got a lot of friends, so take it real steady. Peek in the corner here and make sure to clear that hangar before you go running in. Just in front of us there on the left is the next location you can find a warehouse keycard. There's also a whole bunch of enemies in the deck below, which can be a bit off-putting when you hear the cues from them, from the audio cues. So just be aware of that. If in doubt, just point the pulverizer in their direction and keep the trigger pull down. That's where you find the key card. We grab our next bit of data. This is number 4. And we head on over to the auxiliary station. I've taken an injury, so I'm going to just quickly use the Polaris's medbeds to heal that up before the next phase. And then we'll exit the Polaris, go grab our Drake Dragonfly, and head over to the Orc station. The Polaris is nearly pointing directly at the auxiliary station. You can see the arm of it sticking out there in the distance. The 4 Vanduul have reappeared, but they're completely ignoring me. So we can just cruise on over without a worry in the world. So as you approach the auxiliary station door, usually you don't need to get off your bike. You should receive a ping for some new markers, which will show you 3 derelict sites scattered around the station where you need to go searching for a keycard. There we go. Find QV airlock access card pops up. So again, using our bike, we're not going to get any bother from the Vanduul. When you approach each wreck, there will be another group of Vanduul AI ships spawning. There they are. I've gone straight to the one where I actually found the keycard. Didn't see the need to have the searching through each site in the video. It does seem to me that it's always on the Caterpillar wreck. I don't know if that's just a random thing that I've experienced, but it seems to me that the guy we're looking for is always in the Caterpillar. There are ship components and there are large blue loot boxes in these wrecks, so it's worth having a look round. You can potentially find your pristine artifacts and medals. Each of those can be 6 to 10 million each, so very much worth a few minutes of having a look around the wreck. But we're looking for one of those Testudo Deathblow armor guys with a skull helmet that we've seen in all of the sections so far. He's the one with a key card in it. When you get close enough, there's a nice marker spawns on his body, but this is the guy you're looking for. He's pretty easy to recognise. Same as the boss guy in each section that we've cleared so far. And on him there'll be a QV access card. If you can work out where the interact button is to loot his inventory. There we go. So we fly back, make our way into the final section of the mission. So more close quarters combat to look forward to in here. Just make sure your bike's still and not drifting. Engine off. And then we'll go use our key card to enter the auxiliary station. First section's a similar layout to the entranceway. That guy staked to the wall with a Vanduul spear is who we're after. But this time he's locked behind a key-coded door, so we're looking for a laptop with the code on. You'll notice the dead Vanduul lying around the floor. These are very much worth looting as they carry Vanduul metal. And try and avoid the guys with dead ridge shotguns. Thankfully I was able to just spawn on my Ursa, fly back. So that was a bit of a whoopsie, but the mission's not over. So we're on site and we can get back into the action. At least I traded with a guy and killed him too. But we can collect all of our gear, duplicate a bit of ammo. Thank you, Tier 1 loot system. Now there's always a fuse in a fuse box in this locker room, which is going to be useful in a second, so make sure to come and get this with a blue loot box next to it. Then we'll head back to clear the main room. Now this does have 6-7 Shattered Blade guys in it, so again take it slowly. Spawn locker on the right, which you can need to watch out for. You can see the dead Vanduul on the floor there. So again, back to the same tactics of just peeking the angles, taking it steady, making sure to clear the room. As you saw with the guy with a dead rig shotgun, you can go down very quickly if you're not paying attention. Just checking behind me for any fresh spawns. Like that. No idea how I didn't take damage there. And that's the laptop we're looking for. There's usually a guy hiding in the back of this bar, so I just wanted to take care of him before I start worrying about getting the code. Check the Vanduul bodies for Vanduul metal and plating, which you need for the new Wikelo armour. There's also a collection mission once you've completed this mission the first time that gives you 600 alpha UEC, 600,000 alpha UEC for a number of each. And then this is where the fuse comes in. The laptop can spawn in a number of locations around this auxiliary station. This is probably the easiest one, so we got lucky this run. It's in the security office behind the fuse door. So we just need to check our email and get our door code. Then we're good to go get the final piece of data. Boom tube and pulverizer. And again, another location you can find the warehouse access cards. The final Shatter Blade captain is here with the final piece of data. So just head on back, using your bike again to avoid the Vanduul. You can go to your hangar, or you can use this pad 3 below the main section of the space station. Through the doorway there's an elevator that takes you up to the entrance again. If you've got a ship larger than the hangars here, then you can park it here at pad 3, and this is also a good suicide run location. You can shoot straight for this pad. You've got a ship with an ejection option, you can just jump out of your ship and not worry about the Vanduul on first approach. I'm just calling my cargo ship in preparation for getting out of here with all the loot. And then we're just heading right back up to security, and we're going to decode all of our data. So you actually only need one decryption key. You can take all 5 pieces of data from the corpses of the Shattered Blade captains, do this step once, it saves you a bit of time. And then the machine on the right is for programming the warehouse cards. And if you are lucky enough to find these, because they seem to be bugged and not respawning at the moment, then you need to program each one of these here at security on the station, in the Polaris and at the auxiliary station, in order to unlock the code. I found some on a previous run, so I'm going to go hit the warehouse and see what loot it holds for me. Now, you don't need to see me picking through loot, so I'm going to jump to some shots of what I found in this warehouse run. This mission is so lucrative, it's crazy. You get Vanduul cryopods, which are worth 120,000 alpha UEC each. There's a mission to deliver 5 to either the Nix or Stanton jump gate stations. Once you've completed this mission, the mission itself pays out 1.2 million. You can find pristine artifacts, pristine medals, grade A military size 3 components like TS2s and JS500 power plants. There's absolutely tons of pulverizers, kill shots and Testudo armor. Now, bonus tip number 1. If you fancy a joyride in a Vanduul Stinger, but you don't want to go on to the real money store and buy one, you can use our trick with your space bike to hijack one. Just fly up behind them, they don't react to you on the space bike. Use your pulverizer to pummel the ribs on the back of the ship. Normally a magazine is enough to open up. Climb up in there. Shoot the Vanduul in the back. Who said we can't do FPS with a Vanduul this patch? Make sure to check his body, because they do have Vanduul plating and Vanduul metal on them. Each of those are worth about 60k each. Again, there's a collection mission once you've completed this for the first time to hand these in, but there's a much more lucrative way to use those, which I'll show you shortly. And then if you're that way inclined, you can go all GTA with a Vanduul Stinger. Take it out for a test ride. Such a cool ship, sounds absolutely amazing. I'd highly recommend giving this a go at least once. Try before you buy. Remember to put your shields on though. This guy was in nav mode for some reason. Now when it comes to getting your hands on Vanduul plate and Vanduul metal, the bodies in the auxiliary station are a great way to go, but it seems that every pilot of every ship has these. Now, killing them with a normal ship in free flight, they're always moving, and finding the corpse afterwards can be a nightmare. However, if you blow them up with your space bike, they just drift right up in front of you. And you come and pick your metal plating. Nice and easy. Once you've got all your ill-gotten gains safely stashed in the cargo hold of your ship, it's time to leave. There's normally 4 Vanduul respawned at this point, so be careful. Get your jump programmed before you leave the hangar. Work out where the quantum marker is. Drop into quantum mode. Try and make sure not to crash because your shields are down, obviously. And then get lined up, get calibrated, and jump. And with a little bit of luck, the Vanduul won't have time to fire a shot. Once you've gathered enough Vanduul metal, plating, a pristine artifact and a set of Testudo turf war armour, it's time to come see Wikelo. These are selling on UEX for 100 to 250 million alpha UEC, and this makes this one hell of a profitable mission. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Please feel free to like, subscribe, come back for more. Radical Panda, out.